Yo, what's up? It seems like I'm doing one video per week now. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing some showcase on this shark guy. I'm doing this before the fox dude releases, because if this guy doesn't work in PvP, then the fox dude is going to be dead on arrival because he relies on stealth units, and realistically there's only 2 stealth units that you can run between shark dude and Ikki. And also, by the way, this is my guildmate's account, because my main account, I went ahead and summoned all of my keepsakes and I PT'd the whole way through. So I'm at like 6 out of 8 or something like that. So I love keepsake so much. I think you all agree with me. Keepsake is a very good feature in the game. And if Lilith wants to keep killing the game quicker, they should release more keepsake espers, because it takes more than 1 patch, sometimes even 2 whole patch for you to get the new unit, which is the reason why I only posted like 4 videos in this month, because this update had absolutely nothing. I couldn't even test out the new unit, which is this guy, because I couldn't get him. So yeah, keepsake is lovely. My guildmate logged into his account and bought the pass, but unfortunately he did hit PT every single time as well. So now he's at 2 keepsake after even buying the pass. So yeah, very lovely. I'll try him out at R0 first, but my guildmate does have 40 of these boxes, so I can go R4 instantly. I think he does need the R2, but maybe R4 is not really needed because he's not going to be the main carry. I think his main job in PvP right now is going to be either killing off like Mavis teams. If you do run like Petros, you can run him and then kill off this one, right? You can kill off Yukin by putting him in the slot. So if you guys don't know, he's going to target the unit in his position, in his corresponding position. So if you put him in the 3rd slot, he's going to be targeting the Yukin. So hopefully he can one-shot. And also he does ignore defense as well. He can ignore up to 70% defense. But if the target has buffs, then it's going to ignore less. So we'll see. I'm going to try to use this team first. I'm using Petros so I can bypass Mavis's Graveless mechanic. And I'm just showering a bunch of supports to him. If he can't kill off Yukin, then this team is going to be just going to be dead. Okay. 15,000 damage. Wow, lovely. I only have him at D3 right now. I don't think I'm going to go D6 on my guildmate's account. But if it doesn't work, I'm just going to go to R2 so that he ignores 100% of defense. I have 2 supports that gives him a lot of damage, being R6 Sakura and also Lu Sheng. If he still can't one-shot, he's really bad, man. Yukin right now is not getting Triao's buff, so I'm still able to crit. He's also very slow. He can only get the AP when Yukin moves, but Yukin is also pretty slow as well. He needs the unit corresponding to his position to move or get damaged, I think. So let's see. 15,000. Okay, she does have a lot of buffs though. He somehow failed his S3 strip. I think that's it. I'm gonna go to R2 instantly. Okay, now he's R2. His R1 gives him more damage, and the R2 gives him more defense ignore if the enemy is not buffed. So now he's going to ignore 100% of defense. Also, the weird thing just now, he wasn't stripping his the enemy's buff, even though his Divinate says that he's going to dispel 3 buffs, which cannot miss or be resisted. But just now I saw he didn't even strip any of the buffs. Wow, look at that. Amazing. 50,000 this time around. I think if the enemy is too tanky, he can't do anything. Even when I'm running 2 really high offensive supports, being Lu Sheng and R6 Sakura. And also the enemy having Chu Yao is also kind of detrimental to this team, because I'm losing attack every single time he debuffs me. He has a lot of damage reduction from AoE attacks with his passive, but it seems like he can't one-shot Yukin. Yeah, look at that. Again, for some reason he doesn't strip the buff. Is it because Yukin is immune to everything that you can't even strip her buffs? That is insane if that's the case. Alright, let me try him against R6 Ikki. So I put him in the 5th slot. He's going to be targeting Ikki. Hopefully through the stealth buff, because his passive says that he's always going to be prioritizing the corresponding position. Ikki has stealth buff. Hopefully it goes through that. I'm also going to be bringing Seek, my own Seek. Hopefully it kills off the rest of the enemies. Ikki does have a 2nd life. That's going to be problematic. He can one-shot Ikki, but Ikki is going to trigger the invincibility buff. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, we won. Not bad. He did 79,000 damage. Okay, did he even do anything here? Again, keep in mind, I have him at R2. So he's ignoring 100% of defense at this point. If he still can't kill a DPS, then this guy is garbage. But I'm going first in this team. So most of the time, if you are facing off against a Seek team and you go first, you're going to win regardless. So I don't know if Tetsuya did anything with for this team. Alright, let's see. He's not fast enough. Unlike Moriyama, where you just need to get one turn with your unit, this guy, he needs to move naturally. Okay, he one-shot, but then he died. He one-shot and then just died. What the hell? He did kill off Ikki though. That's not bad. Okay, this time I'm not going first. So there's a good chance I'm gonna get cooked. He's also gonna take his sweet time to move. But before then, yeah, it's not gonna win. He doesn't do anything. So if he doesn't get a turn, it doesn't matter how much damage reduction you have with him. He has 80% damage reduction to AoE, by the way. And he's still getting cooked. Because with Seek in the meta, it doesn't matter if you have damage reduction, he's just going to ignore it. Look at that. Look at the amount of death. He just died! What is that? He died after doing like one move. And he didn't even kill Ikki. Let me see again. Oh wait. He didn't even go for Ikki, right? I think he went for Zihi. Let me check. Oh, he didn't even get a turn. He just counter-attacked Zihi. That's awesome. He died before even getting a turn. He has 80% AoE damage reduction, by the way. 80%. And he just dies. Because Seek does not care about damage reduction. I'm trying to find defenses without Seek, but it's impossible. Just how OP Seek is in PvP. So every single time I refresh... Oh, we found one. Okay. Alright, let's see if he can one-shot. Okay, I don't think he's gonna one-shot because Yukin has Chuyao's buff. So I don't think that's gonna be possible. I also cannot outspeed this guy, so I have to run a sort of tanky team. Hopefully he gets a turn to maybe one-shot Yukin. If I can one-shot Yukin, that's gonna be GG. But I don't think it's gonna be possible because the Yukin is also level 70. Yeah. I don't know what purpose this guy has in the game right now. 38,000 damage. Especially at higher tier PvP. Maybe you can run him like at top 100, where you see most Suicide teams. But my guildmate's account, you can't really find any Suicide teams anymore, because nobody runs Suicide in this rank. I think it would be great against Suicide because he ignores 100% defense and Suicide has a lot of defense. But against like Yukine especially, you can't do any damage to her. Look at that. He doesn't even strip the buff. What is wrong with this guy? The shield buff is still on Yukine. I know Yukine is immune to everything, but she shouldn't be immune to buff strip. What the hell is going on? Okay, hopefully he can work against a Wu Yu. Also, the annoying thing about running him is that when you want to kill someone, you have to put him in the corresponding spot. So if you want to use him with Seek, now I can't run this because he needs to be in the second slot for him to focus on Wu Yu, right? So I'm not going to get the Dragon Breath effect whenever I cast this S2. Let's see if he can one-shot Wu Yu. We still lose. 300,000, I don't think that's enough to one-shot Wu Yu. Sakura is getting the Chuyao's buff, I think. If he can one-shot Wu Yu, he's okay, I guess. He's decent. But you can just run Moriyama for that. I think he got cooldown up as well. Yep. So he's not going to be casting the S3. Look at that. He almost killed himself from the true damage. Hopefully Wu Yu doesn't counter-attack and cooldown up him again, because I do need him to cast the... Okay, 300,000 is pretty good though. But we still lost because he couldn't kill off Sakura. Yeah, he couldn't crit Sakura because of the Chuya buff. And you could... Ooh, even without crit, 200,000 is pretty good. Yeah, we couldn't crit the Sakura because he is not a shimmer and you cannot run Everett with him. Alright, now I'm gonna try him with Wenlock, hopefully to kill off the Sakura. And I also have 4 supports with him. I'm running Pindar as well, just to give him more turns. Hopefully this works. Nope. So far the win rate is at 0%. That's pretty good. 0% win rate is kind of expected with this guy, especially at R2. I think you need to have him at R4 for him to even function properly, because, or even R6, because he doesn't ignore like damage reduction. And Sakura's, okay, he one shot, pretty good. Now I want to see if it's enough damage for him to kill off Sakura with Chuyao's buff. Again, I have Pindar with him just to give him more turns. He does one shot, and we got one shotted back. Interesting. We did kill Sakura, but we ended up just dying. I think that was possible for me to win. We did one shot like 2 of them. If I killed off this guy first, then we might have a chance. But it's not going to be an easy win, because I need the AI to be smart enough to go for Wu Yu and then this guy, right? Wait, did we just like one shot 2 units at the same time? I think we did. We one shot Wu Yu and also Pindar at the same time. That's pretty cool. By the way, this guy is terrible in defense, because if you do put him in defense, people can just cheese you with Meta Era by putting Meta Era in the corresponding slot, and then he's just going to do nothing the entire fight. And also, I cannot find any match anymore because look at this. See. And then this one I can't do anything because I can't kill off. Maybe we can. Let's try to do this instead. Yeah, let's try this. Now he has more supports. I think I'm gonna remove Zihi. Let's just put in Unas and see if he can one-shot the Yukine. Nope. He's so good. Look at that, 85,000. I don't know why he's doing like no damage against Yukine, even though he should be ignoring defense. Golden buffs does not count as buffs, by the way, so I don't know why he's not ignoring defense. Maybe he does ignore defense, but he's still not ignoring 100% of defense because he's not stripping Yukine for whatever reason. Let's take a look at Yukine, right? Yukine has one buff right now, and he's not gonna get a turn at all because he's way too slow. For a unit that needs to one-shot an enemy, for him to do anything, he's way too slow with the rival rune. I think he has like 178 speed something. Yeah, he doesn't strip the buff. Look at that, amazing. What an amazing hero. He doesn't even do what he's supposed to do. Before using Furious Jaws to attack, dispels 3 buffs from the enemy, won't miss or be resisted. And we saw just now he didn't even strip 1 buff from Yukine. So that's very good. Even though, again, Yukine is immune to everything, but she shouldn't be immune to buff strip. I don't know why he doesn't strip buffs. Okay, we'll go against this guy once again. I'm going first, so it's almost guaranteed that I'm gonna win. Nice, we won. And he did 100,000. He did one-shot Ikki. But again, when you outspeed a Seek team and you're also using Seek yourself, it's almost guaranteed to win whether I use Tetsuya or not. Because it's not really a problem for you to kill off the Ikki. But he does help with killing off Ikki, right? Oh, he didn't even get a turn. We just one-shot that dude with... we one-shot that dude with Chuyao. What the hell? He didn't even get a turn. He did nothing. Okay, I know how to outspeed this guy by running Yuhime lead and also Yamato. Let's see if he can get a turn and maybe one-shot. I just want to see if he can one-shot the enemy Yukine. He's doing some weird stuff right now. He's not one-shotting the Yukine or even doing any damage to Yukine. He should be doing like above 100,000. I think he's probably bugged against Yukine. Look at that, he's way too slow. He's allowing every single other units to move before him. Okay, Yukine does not have a buff and he only did 59,000 damage. What is this unit, man? Okay, we did find a Suizai. I should be going first, but I think it's not gonna matter because there is a Yukine and he can't do anything against Yukine. So maybe I can try running Daji sort of to counter Yukine. And I'm gonna go first. The problem is, even if I go first, he's not gonna get a turn after like all of the enemies move. He's just way too slow and we lose again. He should be, you know, cheesing through Suizai with his 100% ignore defense, but he's doing nothing so far. He did 90,000 damage though. But again, you cannot crit on Suizai, right? Because he has Chuyao's buff. And you can't run Everett with this guy to give him 100% crit rate. He does one shot though. Okay, not bad. Through the Chuyao buff as well. But we did lose because he can't do anything against Yukine. Yeah, he's getting cooked right now, bro. I don't know what to run with this guy. He needs so many conditions to even work. He needs to go first, and he can't go up against Yukine for whatever reason. And against Seek, you cannot go second because if you go second, you're just gonna die. Seek does not care about his damage reduction. So it's really tough for him to work against any opponents in this current rank. Okay, let me just try to one-shot the Seek with this guy. I am gonna go first, but he does have a Yukine again. Yukine is OP right now in PvP. Even without, yeah, we can't win. So far the winner is 24,000 damage. What is this? You need to go first with this guy. That's one. And even if you go first, because enemy Chuyao gains AP, he's gonna steal the turn. Okay, we did kill off everyone. Even before this guy gets a turn, by the way. He's not gonna get a turn. So he does get a turn, he kills off Zihi and he just dies. He just dies. I don't know what the point of this guy is. Alright, this time I'm bringing him against his perfect enemy. Again, I have 4 supports surrounding him. Oh my god, what's the point? 20... What is that? What is that? 26,000 damage against his best opponent. A defense scaling unit. And he did 26,000 damage. What is this unit? Okay, he doesn't one shot, he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do any damage. It also doesn't help that he doesn't strip all buffs. It only strips 3 buffs. So the Wuyu still had like 1 buff to her name. That's why he didn't ignore that much defense. I think he only ignored like portion of defense, maybe like 50%. Now he doesn't have the stealth buff. He's getting stunned, he's getting cooldown reduction up. He's just gonna die. Wow. The enemy does have a lot of damage reduction though, with Meta Yunshan and also Pindar. Maybe I can do this. But if I do this, then what's the point of Pindar? So let me try to remove Pindar and add in maybe a Sakura. Because again, Pindar only supports the unit on the far left, right? So this way, maybe I can kill off the Pindar and maybe trickle down the... Okay, maybe not. I was thinking maybe I could trickle down the rest of the enemies, but nope. Let's just see though. Maybe he can one-shot Pindar. The enemy does have an R6 meta era, so it does give an additional buff. And also it doesn't help that when he casts his S3, he doesn't get an attack buff. So look at that. He got CD up. Now he doesn't have the S3 for 1 more turn. And I think at this point, Wuyu is just going to cooldown reduction up him every single time. He does one shot though. Alright, not bad. Now let's see how we lost this. Because at this point, it shouldn't be possible for me to lose. Because I have a Zihi. And this guy ignores 100% of defense, by the way. And somehow we're still losing. Okay, I think we're in limbo right now. Because there's only 4 enemies left. And 3 of them are defenders. Every single hit I do is most likely going to add 1 counter to Zihi or Wuyu. So she's always going to be counter-attacking my team. Look at that. He couldn't... he could... Oh my god, he's so bad, bro. The team that he's supposed to be good against, he just lose. Maybe he can one-shot Ikki. I don't know what to bring anymore. Maybe I can remove this one. I honestly, I don't know what to run anymore. That's the best I can do. Yeah. 0% win rate is pretty good so far. 260,000. It's kind of pointless against R6 Ikki. Because if you cannot kill the Ikki for his first life, then he's just gonna get the invincibility buff. And this guy, even though he's gonna be hard focusing on Ikki, he's not gonna be stripping his buff until he gets... Did he failed to one-shot? Did I see that correctly? He failed to one-shot Ikki, which is a DPS without Chuyao's buff. What is going on? He just straight up didn't kill Ikki. He did like 90,000 or something. And somehow Ikki survived. Look, 96,000. Ikki didn't even proc his invincibility buff. And the Pindar is actually linked to Wuyu. So the Ikki has over 100,000 HP right now? What the hell is going on? Did we miss an attack or something? Yeah, we lost again. 200,000 again? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. The Ikki should not have any buffs, by the way. And we still somehow cannot one-shot the Ikki. That's crazy. Look at that. Okay, now he one-shots because he crit this time. But it's pointless because Ikki has the invincibility buff. I guess anything below R6 Ikki should be fine. Okay, but he did remove the buff, the invincibility buff. But Ikki has the invincibility buff once again because he got to 12 stacks. So boom, he kills off Ikki. But it's a little bit too slow because... Oh man, look at this. He's supposed to one-shot units, by the way. Look at this. He kills off Ikki. It doesn't matter because Ikki gets the invincibility buff faster than he can cycle. He has a cooldown on his S3 for like 3 turns. But since I'm running Wenlock, he just needs to get 2 turns for him to regain the S3. But it doesn't matter because Ikki can get the 12 stacks of Envious Moon faster than that. Yeah, we're out of tickets. Let's take a look at the win rate. I think we won like 1 fight out of 20. Okay, we won 2 fights, 2% win rate out of 18. That's pretty good, I'd say. And the fights that we won was because we outspeed. We outspeed this team, and we also outspeed the same guy, by the way. And the rest of the team, we failed to one-shot like more than half of them. We cannot one-shot Yukine for whatever reason. We cannot go up against Seek. And if you go up against Seek and you go second, you cannot tank anything because Seek goes through damage reduction, so it's kind of pointless. We also tried to go up against Suizai team. We did one-shot the Suizai, but it was kind of pointless because the Yukine solo carried the entire team. So same with this one, we didn't go first. We couldn't one-shot the Yukine because we couldn't strip her buff for whatever reason, so you can ignore defense. And then for this one, same thing, we couldn't one-shot the Yukine, even though the Yukine was level 60. We did one-shot this guy though. Let me take a look again. We one-shot the Wu Yu and also Pindar at the same time, because he does like insane amounts of damage, right? But we still end up losing because the enemy Wu Yu or the enemy tree guy, yeah, we one-shot both of them. We one-shot the Pindar and also the Wu Yu. I think with an R6 Pindar you're not gonna one-shot, but anything below R6 Pindar you can one-shot the Wu Yu. But we still end up losing this fight because the Nathaniel one-shot the entire team. So yeah, 2 wins out of 18. And we only won because we went first. If you are at like top 100 or 200, maybe you can run him against a Suizai solo carry team. He can one-shot the Suizai pretty well, and he doesn't need a lot of investment to one-shot Suizai. But keep in mind, Suizai is becoming less and less meta. There's still a few Suizai teams in top 100 or top 200, but in like top 50, there's almost 0 Suizai teams. So this guy, in his niche of killing Suizai, is going to become less and less relevant. He is pretty good against Ikki, but against R6 Ikki you can't really do anything. So anything below R6 he can do pretty well if he can get the turn and if the Ikki team does not run a Seek. Because again, if the enemy runs a Seek and you don't go first, and it's very hard for you to go first, especially if you want to run this guy, when he's extremely slow with only 178 speed, the Seek team will just do one AoE attack and you are completely cooked. Because Seek's debuff does not care about his 80% AoE damage reduction. It just goes through this 80%. So he gets one-shotted with an AoE ability from Chuyao. So yeah, that's about it. It does not look good for the Fox dude because one of the recently released stealth unit, which the Fox dude needs, is kinda dookie. That's about it, ciao.